at the Longmeadow Bowl in Hagerstown, Maryland, the site of the national finals of the $25,000 Coors Light Duckpin Classic. We began with 273 men and women bowlers participating in a 6-game qualifying round, and now we're down to 20 finalists. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Duckpin Magic. I'm Mike Zeller, with me, Joe Rainier, and Joe, we're in for an exciting treat today.
Well, Mike, there's a lot of excitement here in Hagerstown. $25,000 prize list and a tournament that started with upwards of 3,000 bowlers. Then we're down to the last 10 women and the last 10 men. You'll be seeing those over the next 6 weeks.
All right, we'll get to meet our first bowlers and our first match coming up right after this.
It's exciting, it's entertaining, it's challenging, it's fun. It's Duckpin Magic. Duckpin bowling is lots of fun for the whole family. There's no need to be an expert. Duckpin bowling is easy to learn, but it's the challenge that'll keep you coming back. Even little hands can control the ball in duckpin bowling. Join a league or we'll help you start one. And with duckpin bowling, there's more bowling for your buck. Discover duckpin bowling and you'll discover Duckpin Magic at any of these locations.
Hello, we'd like to clear up some misconceptions about duckpin bowling at Fairlanes. This is a duck. This is a duck pin. Note the absence of webbed feet. This is a flock of ducks. This is a flock of duck pins. The object of duck pins is to hurl 3 balls, bang, 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 and knock them all down. Exhilarating. The object of ducks is to, well, to be ducks. Now you may proceed to Fairlanes. We're quite sure you'll find duck pinning everything it's quacked up to be. Sorry.
It's exciting, it's entertaining, it's challenging, it's fun. It's Duckpin Magic. Duckpin bowling is lots of fun for the whole family. There's no need to be an expert. Duckpin bowling is easy to learn, but it's the challenge that'll keep you coming back. Even little hands can control the ball in duckpin bowling. Join a league or we'll help you start one. And with duckpin bowling, there's more bowling for your buck. Discover duckpin bowling and you'll discover Duckpin Magic at any of these locations.
Hello, we'd like to clear up some misconceptions about duckpin bowling at Fairlanes. This is a duck. This is a duck pin. Note the absence of webbed feet. This is a flock of ducks. This is a flock of duck pins. The object of duck pins is to hurl 3 balls, bang, 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 and knock them all down. Exhilarating. The object of ducks is to, well, to be ducks. Now you may proceed to Fairlanes. We're quite sure you'll find duck pinning everything it's quacked up to be. Sorry.
It's exciting, it's entertaining, it's challenging, it's fun. It's Duckpin Magic. Duckpin bowling is lots of fun for the whole family. There's no need to be an expert. Duckpin bowling is easy to learn, but it's the challenge that'll keep you coming back. Even little hands can control the ball in duckpin bowling. Join a league or we'll help you start one. And with duckpin bowling, there's more bowling for your buck. Discover duckpin bowling and you'll discover Duckpin Magic at any of these locations.
Hello, we'd like to clear up some misconceptions about duckpin bowling at Fairlanes. This is a duck. This is a duck pin. Note the absence of webbed feet. This is a flock of ducks. This is a flock of duck pins. The object of duck pins is to hurl 3 balls, bang, 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 and knock them all down. Exhilarating. The object of ducks is to, well, to be ducks. Now you may proceed to Fairlanes. We're quite sure you'll find duck pinning everything it's quacked up to be. Sorry.
First match of the day, Tina Willey and Mary Beth Smith. Tina is our number 10 seed, and Mary Beth our number 9 seed. And Joe, why don't you tell us a little bit about our bowlers?
Well, you have Tina Willey, who was the 10th seed from Fontana's Bowlerama in Maryland, bowling Mary Beth Smith of Fairlanes Westview, also Maryland, the Baltimore area. Of course, Fontana's being the outskirts or suburbs of the Washington, D.C. Pretty ball, nice start.
It's important to get off to that good start, isn't it, in a tournament like this, because your nerves are there and you sort of put yourself, you set the tone for the rest of your bowling.
Well, and I tell you, Mike, you have a unique situation here in that the format of the Coors Light Silver Bowler Duckpin Classic. There you see a little bit of the jitters as she missed a number 6 pin for a spare, be shooting for 10. A lot of these bowlers are not per se tournament-type bowlers, let alone the TV lights, the excitement, the publicity that we've generated with the cooperation of Coors for this tournament. As we said, there's close to 3,000 bowlers entered this center level, and came down to 273 men and women qualifiers, a total of 273, and we're down to 10. So it's very exciting, and I can tell you that their stomachs are flipping and their hearts pounding and skipping beats, and it's just going to be a lot of fun doing this, Mike. And the excitement's going to build as we go through the 3 weeks of the finals here, getting to the eventual winner and Coors Light champion.
Well, the tournament has been a big success in the fact that there you see $10. Big success in the fact that we've got people with averages from 105, at least on the women's side, up to 141, and everything in between. And so it shows that the tournament worked the way it was supposed to, getting every bowler involved regardless of what their average was.
Well, when Coors came on board, along with the National Proprietors Association, the Duckpin Bowling Proprietors of America, we said, what do we want to do to reach as many people as we can? And what we come up with was an 80% handicap situation based on 170 average. So you see a little pull, the 2-pin remaining. She knocked off the 4-7. And yes, we did do this. They qualified 5 games in their local center, 10 frame, and we'll bring you up to date. We're going to be jumping around a little bit here, Mike, because it's new for us also.
In her half of the second frame, Smith dropped 9 with the first ball. She then converted the single pin spare by picking up the 10-pin. It was the first mark of the match, and Mary Beth Smith led by 21 pins after 2 frames. Tina Willey was struggling. She was open until the 4th frame when she posted her very first spare. It was a tough one as she left a 1-3-7 after her first ball. She converted the tough spare cleanly, bouncing the 1-3 off the right side wall, knocking down the 7-pin. The spare in the 4th enabled Tina to close the gap. However, she still trailed by a healthy 17 pins. The score at that time, 95-78. In the 6th frame, things turned around for Tina Willey. She struck for the very first time, and that strike made it even closer in the match as Tina pulled to within 15 pins. The score, 113-98, plus Tina still had a count on her strike. In the 7th, Tina threw another picture-perfect strike as she connected with the double to jump into the lead. Tina's ensuing 7 count gave her a 2-pin advantage, and when the 8th frame had ended, she stretched her lead to 12 pins, 144-132. In the 9th frame, it was a dramatic turn for Tina Willey. After dropping 9 on her first ball, Tina missed a single pin spare break, a miss which later proved to cost her the match. Both bowlers continued to post open frames until the 10th, and that's when Mary Beth Smith staged a terrific comeback. Knowing that she needed 2 strikes, Mary Beth unloaded the first ball and it was right down the middle. Just knocking out the 9 and 10 pins, she recorded her first strike. With the tension building, Mary Beth stepped to deliver the second ball of the frame. And her second ball was just as good, resulting in a double. At this point in the match, in the 10th frame, Mary Beth Smith trailed by just 3 pins and needed a count of 4 or more to win it. Mary Beth's third ball was just as good as the first 2. She knocks down 9, records 29 in the last frame, and it gives Mary Beth Smith of Baltimore, Maryland, an exciting 5-pin win over Tina Willey. Final score in this match, Mary Beth Smith 169, Tina Willey 164, and Mary Beth will move on to face our next bowler, Sue Swann, on Duckpin Magic when we return.
Hello, we'd like to clear up some misconceptions about duckpin bowling at Fairlanes. This is a duck. This is a duck pin. Note the absence of webbed feet. This is a flock of ducks. This is a flock of duck pins. The object of duck pins is to hurl 3 balls, bang, 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 and knock them all down. Exhilarating. The object of ducks is to, well, to be ducks. Now you may proceed to Fairlanes. We're quite sure you'll find duck pinning everything it's quacked up to be. Sorry.
It's exciting, it's entertaining, it's challenging, it's fun. It's Duckpin Magic. Duckpin bowling is lots of fun for the whole family. There's no need to be an expert. Duckpin bowling is easy to learn, but it's the challenge that'll keep you coming back. Even little hands can control the ball in duckpin bowling. Join a league or we'll help you start one. And with duckpin bowling, there's more bowling for your buck. Discover duckpin bowling and you'll discover Duckpin Magic at any of these locations.
Hello, we'd like to clear up some misconceptions about duckpin bowling at Fairlanes. This is a duck. This is a duck pin. Note the absence of webbed feet. This is a flock of ducks. This is a flock of duck pins. The object of duck pins is to hurl 3 balls, bang, 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 and knock them all down. Exhilarating. The object of ducks is to, well, to be ducks. Now you may proceed to Fairlanes. We're quite sure you'll find duck pinning everything it's quacked up to be. Sorry.
Looking for something fun to do? How about bowling? Bowl at Thunderhead Bowl for the best in duckpin and 10-pin bowling at 2 locations, both Westminster and Tawnytown. You can enjoy the league opportunities, which are always available for all ages at Thunderhead Bowl. And both locations are open 7 days a week with a snack bar and restaurant specials to ease the hunger as you have fun. The Pro Shop has a complete line of bowling equipment and accessories designed to improve your game. If you'd like information on open bowling, adult and youth leagues, contact Thunderhead Bowl, the family fun place.
Hello, we'd like to clear up some misconceptions about duckpin bowling at Fairlanes. This is a duck. This is a duck pin. Note the absence of webbed feet. This is a flock of ducks. This is a flock of duck pins. The object of duck pins is to hurl 3 balls, bang, 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 and knock them all down. Exhilarating. The object of ducks is to, well, to be ducks. Now you may proceed to Fairlanes. We're quite sure you'll find duck pinning everything it's quacked up to be. Sorry.
It's exciting, it's entertaining, it's challenging, it's fun. It's Duckpin Magic. Duckpin bowling is lots of fun for the whole family. There's no need to be an expert. Duckpin bowling is easy to learn, but it's the challenge that'll keep you coming back. Even little hands can control the ball in duckpin bowling. Join a league or we'll help you start one. And with duckpin bowling, there's more bowling for your buck. Discover duckpin bowling and you'll discover Duckpin Magic at any of these locations.
Welcome back here to Duckpin Magic and the Longmeadow Bowl in Hagerstown, Maryland. Our second match will feature Mary Beth Smith and Sue Swann. Sue is going to bowl first. She's out of the Town Hall Lanes in Rhode Island. Joe, what can you tell us about Sue Swann?
Sue Swann, North Kingston, Rhode Island, Town Hall Lanes, high game 202, high series 476, an executive secretary, throws a 4 7/8 ball. 3 pound 10 ounce, and she's been bowling 25 years, member of the Ladies Pro Tour for 7 years.
Pretty good career numbers, 202 high game, 476 high series. And here she is as the number 8 seed taking on Mary Beth Smith. Picks up a 10 in the first frame and added to her handicap of 36, and that first frame gives her a total of 46. And here's Mary Beth Smith, winner of our first match. She will have a total of 49 pins handicap, so a difference of 13. She finished up strong. She finished up very strong, as a matter of fact, throwing a double in the 10th frame to edge out Tina Willey. Mary Beth on the nose with that one. In the first match, Joe, she was throwing that one off to the right. She was letting it slide out. What kind of correction did she have to make in order to pick that spear up?
Well, I think if you compare the shots from the first game to the shot there, of course, where she converted her one-pin spare, she's a little more comfortable, a little more aggressive, and that's what you have to do. You know, it's you can't throw the ball scared, or you're going to miss. You're aiming it, you're pointing it, and it just doesn't work. The arm has to come back and just aggressively come through. And she was sort of getting the ball to the foul line in front of her and cutting it off. There you see her hand. Nice ball. Didn't make the shot, but a good ball, and the hand come right up past her head.
She really stays down on the ball, doesn't she, when she releases?
Well, she has a little flaw, if I pick out anything, is in getting down, she's leaning from the waist, and it puts her shoulders ahead of her ankle, her left ankle, her slide foot. Now, if we get a shot of it here. Yeah, she stayed up a little bit that time. Hit the 10-pin. A tough pin to hit, and you must execute. And I think if you want to improve your game as a right-handed bowler, you go out and you shoot the 10-pin, ball after ball after ball, and it'll lock you in. It makes you execute. It makes you do a lot of things right. And, of course, the left-hander shoots number 7. Tough break.
Yeah, good hit.
10, good ball. Here again, we have a difference in the handicap, and the higher average bowler, it can affect them. It really can affect them. You can try to close it out, but the fact that you're starting out, in this case, Sue Swann, 13 pins down, and you don't look at a bowler as an average. You look at him as a bowler and an opponent, and until something happens, you're equal. You know, we always said an average has never beaten anyone yet, you know, and it's still not going to. You see Mary Beth, 108, who no way is she supposed to double in the last frame to win, you know, the first match, and bang, she does it. So that's the exciting game of duckpin bowling, Mike.
Look at that nice shot, and leaves the 9 up.
It's an important shot. It's early in the game. She's got to establish her game, stick with her game plan, and not let what Mary Beth does intimidate her. There you see.
By the right side.
It's not enough extension and not enough exaggeration. Popped up a little bit at the line, and the ball shot off to the right.
Comes back, picks it up for 10.
You know, Mike, there's just another point of view as to what the head game plays. We shoot a single. We're physically the same person. We miss it. The mental part is then erased. You pick the third ball up and hit it right on the button. Now, you tell me, was it physical or mental? A little tentative, get away with it, hit the 3-6 on the right side, left the number 8.
As we were talking about coming down, Yogi Berra had a saying for that, right? About baseball, games 90% mental, 50% physical. The other half is physical, whatever. Bowling, I guess you can qualify in the same front, right?
Well, I think when you get to the level...
Just got it, but just got it does count.
I don't believe Mary Beth would have given you a nickel for that shot when she released it. Had a little bit of pull in it, but I tell you, a lot of these bowlers too, Mike, you have to remember they bowled 6 games in the qualifying. The house qualifying was 5, but of course in this particular tournament here at the finals, and a lot of these bowlers are league bowlers and not really tournament bowlers. The format excited a lot of people. We had upwards of 3,000 people participate in this tournament, and I think we've created some tournament bowlers. You go out and you enjoy the competition, you realize nobody's going to bite you, and basically you go out and learn to lose, and you realize it's not so bad. It can still be fun, and there was a lot of fun had here at Turner's Longmeadow Bowl in Hagerstown this weekend.
A lot of the bowlers, as we see, Mary Beth picks it up again. So 2 marks in a row for Mary Beth, 3 out of the first 4 frames. Doing very well here as she continues to strive for that top spot. Got a long way to go yet to put claim to a $3,000 first prize, but she can significantly improve herself in terms of the seeding and help herself up the ladder to win monies.
Well, and I tell you, she has gotten, of course, Sue Swann's attention, and we know what happened to Tina Willey. You have Sue Swann, of course, 124 average bowler, and if whoever gets by, this match will be facing Jessie Shears of Fairlane Southwest from Maryland. She's 105 average bowler, so... Nice shot, the 9-10. Good scores this weekend, Mike. Basically, the bowlers shot over their average. The the high average, the open class type bowler, pro tour type bowler, shot good scores. It was down there. You could rack them up. Another tough one, the 3-10 with the 4 on the left side.
Well, the bowlers left saying, well, I didn't bowl all that well, but I had a great time. And that's the mark of a successful tournament.
Well, that's what it's all about. When, there really are none of us doing this for a living, whether we're pro tour bowlers or what have you, other than the bowler who is a proprietor making a living at it. But basically, the bowler's working 5-6 days a week and running out on the weekends to bowl in some tournaments.
Look at that shot. All of a sudden, Swann maybe starting to feel a little bit more comfortable out there, starting to hit the pins that she's aiming at. Picked up a couple of 10s. Here's Mary Beth Smith working on a mark.
Hey, Mary Beth is a different bowler than we saw the first 8 frames of the first game. The double in the 10th gave her confidence. Obviously, as we alluded to, her opponent in the first game looked and appeared much more comfortable in the lanes than did Mary Beth, and I think it gave her a lot of confidence. Probably was ready to change her shoes. 108 average bowler just does not throw doubleheaders in the 10th frame to win matches under this pressure.
Yeah, she's doing well again. Very makeable spare break, and just slides a lot to the right side. Is that the way she releases the ball?
No, it's the bending from the waist. It blocks you out, and you just cannot get through. Take your arm, swing it, stand up and swing your arm. Stand straight up and watch. It just comes right through. Now lean parallel to the floor from the waist and try doing it. It cuts you off right at the release point where you're supposed to be following through and pulling upwards on the ball. You can't do it. So you have to flip the ball out of your hand. If you let it go natural, the right-handed bowler, it's going to hang to the right, of course, and if you compensate, you're going to pull it. So there's a little bit of pull, as you see that time.
Mary Beth with 115 after 5, bowling the 6th frame. What a shot.
And she was up. She was up. It's just, it allows that hand to come through, and the turns on the ball, the increase in the turns, and being able to follow through as opposed to having to cut the ball off, it's just amazing.
Her 4th spare in 6 frames, and now Swann steps in, and Sue's got to put a mark of her own on the board to get herself on track. Oh, watch out.
And the head game is so different when you have, let's say, 2 people who are equal in average or within 2 or 3 pins, as opposed to the situation we have here, 124 average versus 108. If the 108 gets out of the gate, you're crushing your opponent mentally. It's like, how can this happen? Here's a kid beating me with a scratch, and I'm giving her pins, so it's, and of course Swann, a very experienced bowler, been around a number of years, and knows how to play the head game and the head-to-head type bowling, but still, it's a tough situation to be in. It's a one-game situation. There were no, as our Pro Tour has our quarterfinals and semifinals, which are head-to-head. This is the first head-to-head. The format, really, there were center-level qualifiers in all Duckpin Bowling Proprietor Association houses, and you qualified 1 bowler for every 10 lanes. For instance, Longmeadow Bowl, 34 lanes. They had 3 men and 3 lady qualifiers. We sent these people here to Hagerstown, Longmeadow Bowl, to qualify this weekend. It only took like 1 out of 13. There was 135 bowlers for the men's, right around that number of men and women, and you have 10 finalists. And we're creating the 3 TV shows out of these finalists, from 10, of course, right up the ladder to the eventual champion.
Yeah, Mary Beth Smith will step in. Swann 102 after 7. Mary Beth working on the mark, and she got fortunate there. We'll count 9 on her mark in the 6th. She's got 143 plus this ball for an opportunity in the spare.
Big lead. That thing's pretty much her way this game. Has made some nice shots, got away with, of course, this shot, shooting the head pin for a single after hitting the side. She broke 9 off the side before, left the number 8 pin, and the only defense to that type thing for Sue is to jump up and make marks, and they've been a little bit tough for her.
Well, when you get an opportunity to down the head pin to pick up the mark, you best do that so that you can keep things going for yourself.
Oh my.
Whoops.
7, 9, 10.
Now, just count the 7 on the mark.
What Mary Beth really has to do here, because she's sort of in the driver's seat and has command of what looks like her second consecutive win, is just practice. She's not had to shoot the 7 pin. If I were Mary Beth, you're probably only going to get 9 out of this anyway with 2 good balls. Okay, she hit the number 10, and I would think she'd shoot the number 7 if for nothing else to practice.
Well, let's see what she does.
Has not had to throw balls to the left side of the lane. Well, she chose to shoot the number 9 and hit it. You know, Mike, you have a situation in this up-the-ladder finals where many of those bowlers in the top 10 have probably never bowled a head-to-head match.
Sue Swann will need some marks, and a lot of them. Yep. An opportunity here to try to pick up her first mark in the match, but she needs strikes, Joe. She is trailing by, well, depending on what she does with this particular shot, she will be trailing by somewhere in the area of 45 to 50 pins after this frame. And the only way that you can make that up is by starting to string marks together. Picks up 10. And she does have 112, so it's a 160-112 game as we enter the 9th frame.
If Sue were to strike out in the 9th and 10th, she could shoot 172, and Mary Beth would need a total of 13 for her 2 frames, and not too tough a task. And that shot right there brings you down to 162 possible, and then Mary Beth would need a total of 3. So we can pretty safely say that Mary Beth Smith will be going on to face Jessie Shears of Fairlane Southwest. Her next match, hometown Hagerstown, but has lived in Baltimore since 1984. This is Jessie Shears we're talking about.
Should have a nice homecoming, huh?
Well,
9 more for Sue Swann here after 9 frames, 121. And here's Mary Beth Smith. Interesting game coming up, too, because we'll have a 108 average bowler taking on a 105 average bowler if things continue to go this way for Mary Beth. Watch out, number... well, he tickled the pin, number 5 pin, but it decided to stay there.
well, when you're in the situation she's in, you can handle the wiggle staying up. Has to feel good. She doesn't have to throw a double to win this game. Matter of fact, it's over because Sue Swann can only shoot 151 with a triple in the 10th, and we have 168 for Mary Beth. Look at that. Oh, just showing off. A nice shot. 5-7.
Well, our first game was in the high 160s. This one is going to be in the...
Could make it to 90s.
I was going to say it could be as high as in the 90s. Let's see what happens here.
This is a strike. We're going right by 90, Mike. Of course, just a reminder, we are adding 49 pins in handicap to Mary Beth's score and 36 to Sue Swann's, as the handicap is based on 80% of the difference between the bowler's average and 170. And that average, Mike, was the highest average for the last 2 years. We used this year's average, league average, and last year. Was, you know, when you're in a handicap situation, you can do a lot of things to make it fair and to ensure equity. Of course, that's one of them, going back a couple years, and some people it helps and some people it hurts. But
Mary Beth cleans off 4.
left the number 8. If she hits this pin, she'll have a fine 185 to go with the first game 181. And a regular listening audience knows that these scores are in fact a little blown.
It's Still bowling over her average with that score. And Swann will come in to try to finish up. We get Sue to throw a triple here in the last frame. Sue just couldn't get it going early in the match, and I have a real strong suspicion that during a TV taping like this, if you don't get comfortable very fast, it's tough to get yourself untracked altogether. And that is it, 184-131. Mary Beth Smith wins her second. She'll go on to face Jessie Shears. We'll have it for you on Duckpin Magic after this.
It's exciting, it's entertaining, it's challenging, it's fun. It's Duckpin Magic. Duckpin bowling is lots of fun for the whole family. There's no need to be an expert. Duckpin bowling is easy to learn, but it's the challenge that'll keep you coming back. Even little hands can control the ball in duckpin bowling. Join a league or we'll help you start one. And with duckpin bowling, there's more bowling for your buck. Discover duckpin bowling and you'll discover Duckpin Magic at any of these locations.
Our third and final match features Mary Beth Smith and Jessie Shears. And the winner here will advance to next week's program to continue their climb up the ladder in search of the $3,000 first prize in this Coors Light Duckpin Classic. Unusual style for Jessie Shears. Now, Joe, we've had a situation in the past two matches where we've had Mary Beth Smith, 108 bowler, taking on bowlers with averages in the 120s. Here's a case where she's going to be matched up with a bowler that's got a 105 average and actually gets 3 pins more than she does handicap-wise.
And you know what's ironic, Mike, because of the fractions and so on and so forth, this match is actually a 100% handicap match. If you look at the difference, 52 pins for Jessie, who's bowling now, has the 1, 2, 7, 8, and 9 standing. Third ball, hoping to clean up some pins, and she did, nice 8. But she gets 52 pins, 105 average, and you have Mary Beth, 108 average with 49. So Jessie Shears is actually receiving 100% handicap, and this is because of the fractions and everything. Everything is based on one game.
Well, if you've been watching today's show, you've seen Mary Beth Smith do pretty much everything you're supposed to do in the first two that she's rolled and won against Tina Willey and then Swann. She has bowled pretty much above her average today and throughout the tournament to get this far. She had a 6-game qualifying score of 757 for 6 games. She's got a 9 here. She'll move over to lane 5 here at the Longmeadow Bowl in Hagerstown, Maryland, and really should take the opportunity to thank Frank Turner and his staff here at the center for all of their cooperation and efforts, not only for the tournament, but in helping us with the Duckpin Magic TV setup.
Like I tell you, it was a weekend of just total comfort. And, you know, these are pretty pressure-packed moments for, you know, of course, the TV crew, the people in charge of the tournament, Stacy, Frank Ferry Jr., Tom Zarella, the assistant to the officers of the Duckpin Bowling Proprietors Association. You know, you really have worked months to make this thing come off. And I tell you, Frank Turner's staff, from the mechanic to the couple youngsters that he had running pins, we ran 34 lanes yesterday, Mike, from 9 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock last night. And that's every lane he has in the center. For 14 hours, never had a breakdown. I mean, it would have thrown, you know, we could have stayed all night if he had one breakdown. And it's like having 34 automobiles and knowing that they're all going to run for the whole time.
Jessie Shears on target. Yeah.
Tough shot.
A little bit of a hometown crowd in the audience for her. She's originally from Hagerstown, lived in Baltimore for the last number of years. Jessie's high game career 172, high series 396. Off to the left there.
A little tentative. Got to get aggressive. If you're going to miss, at least know that you were going after it.
There, she's got a nice 10. The interesting thing she says, if she wins first prize, she'll be splitting half the money with her husband for being here and supporting her through her games. It's not a bad deal.
No, and I'm going to keep this paper just in case, because I don't know if she really told him that. So, you know, maybe we can make a deal, Mike. We might make a buck out of this.
There he is there, taking in all the action.
I really believe I talked to him yesterday. She bowled on the early shift at 9 o'clock in the morning, and he was very excited. Joe, what do you think? I said, I think you better go get a room. And as the scores climbed through the day, I thought, uh-oh, I'm going to wind up paying for the Shears' room here. Maybe I'm wrong, but she really bowled excellent, and good qualifying score, some 160 or 70 pins over her average for, you know, for the 6 games. Having a little trouble here today. And
yeah, struggling a little bit. I think she's a little bit nervous.
If you watch the oddity in her style, it really serves a purpose, Mike. One of the things that you must do as a duckpin bowler is get the right arm extended and straight so that you can swing it in the pendulum. And that little motion she does above her head, it does straighten her arm out and get it moving. But I think her timing's just a little off and sort of fighting the conditions here with the lights in her eyes and her heart beating fast. It's tough.
Here's our veteran bowler, Mary Beth Smith. There's a pretty ball.
Took advantage of a couple mistakes made by Jessie. 78 plus the strike to 77 after 4 frames, or 3 frames, I'm sorry. And of course, once again, that does include the handicap of 49 for Mary Beth and 52 for Jessie.
Well, after this week's show, we will have eliminated 3 more bowlers from the finals. That'll bring us down to a total of 7, and the winner of this match will face off against Sharon Parker in our first match next week on Duckpin Magic.
Tough break. 3, 5, 7, and 10. And actually, if you shoot it like you have a 2-pinner, you want to hit the, of course, the number 3 pin, rule of thumb. Just keep banging on the closest pin to you. And in this case, it happens to be the number 3. Tell you, Mary Beth's average could really improve substantially. A couple reasons. She'll, of course, have the opportunity to view this and see herself, and I'm sure she'll see the difference in the what I'll call a very naturally thrown ball as to the blocked ball, which is caused by the bending from the waist.
Makes a big difference after you've seen yourself bowl. You really understand what you're doing up there. Jessie a little closer there, just missed the head pin. She had caught the head pin. Could have really opportunity for a big score there.
Yeah, you can see very tentative at the line. If you watch, she does a lot of things right. It's just a little lack of confidence.
Yep, both her bowlers have only bowled for a total of 3 years in the duckpin game, which is really not a lot of time considering some of the bowlers bowled for a lifetime coming into the tournament.
I'll bet you I have 3 years just in changing shoes.
3 years of putting your balls in the car and taking them out to bowl again. So there's on the head pin, but tough break. Similar to what Mary Beth got on the that pair of lanes, the last time around.
Well, I tell you, this is actually a much tougher shot because you do not have a front pin, the 5-6, of course, in the same row, and then the 7-10, so you don't have the kick pin out in front. You're talking about the number of years. I read an article, Mickey Mantle, he struck out X amount of times, and he walked X amount of times, and he said, I actually spent 8 years of my career without ever touching the ball.
So, Mary Beth picks up the 6 and the 10. Leaves 2 and has a total of 93 after.
Actually, both bowlers 93, but Mary Beth has only bowled 4 frames, and Jessie has bowled 5. And you see the old middle took out the 1, 5, and 9. well-thrown ball, just a little too accurately placed. This is a big couple frames, Mike. The 10-pin difference if Mary Beth were to get 10 out of this frame, which working on.
Got it. Caught it just over her left shoulder, but pins were still alive on the deck.
I'll tell you, Mike, there just is a little support about what we say about hitting the front pin. There's nothing you can do. You have to hit a pin. So you pick it out, focus on it, hit it. If you get enough on the ball and a little luck, pin's rolling in the right direction, you come up with a spare.
Big point in the match, too.
Aggressive with that ball. Once again, pushed it through. Took 5 out this time. Looks like this should be an easier shot than the one she just converted, but not so. Waiting for a ball to return.
Mary Beth Smith, legal secretary, bowling for only 3 years, using a pretty good-sized ball, too, Joe. The heaviest and the largest you can use in the duckpin game.
Sort of a small-framed lady, too, to wrap her hand around. It's tough. I tell you, the 1/8 of inch, and that's what we use as a reference. There's only a 4 7/8 and a 5-inch duckpin ball, and that's the diameter of the ball. Your hand actually goes around the circumference, so that 1/8 inch is much closer to 5/8 of an inch as your hand goes around the ball. So when people think, well, what's an 1/8 of an inch? So it's actually quite a bit more when it comes to gripping it.
She also had a interesting answer to what will you do with the money. She put 1 step at a time.
Not going to make any assumptions, right? She's not going to spend it before she gets it.
That's right. She is in a situation where if she wins this match, she can do no worse than win $250 for her weekend's work. There's a shot on the head pin, pushed through. Here's Mary Beth. She's done a nice job, too, because she started as the number 9 seed.
Jessie with the high game of 172 and a high series of 396. Was bowled in the ADT, a tournament held here in the Baltimore, Washington, Hagerstown, all of Maryland area, really, down into Virginia. And she qualified, made the ADT finals at Fairlanes Middlesex, and so far that was listed as an accomplishment. I'm sure it made her feel very good.
Her husband also bowls on the ADT tour. He's
getting ready to bite the end off of the pen, Mike.
He's hoping he could maybe lean over and tell her a couple of things as to what she's doing wrong. Here she has an opportunity to pick up a mark.
He hasn't stopped encouraging her for 1 ball. He said something to her. You know, there's not a lot you can do at this point. You can see what someone's doing wrong, but unless you have a sort of a one-word thing that you work with each other on to say, look, here, we know you do this wrong, so that's what you're doing right now. But to change in the 6th frame of a game, it's very difficult because you can't get in there and dial the nerves out of her brain, and
well, it took her 6 frames, but in the 7th, she finally got her first mark.
She's 17 pins down, Mike. It's not over. I mean, we've watched Mary Beth throw a doubleheader in the 10th frame to win her first match, so anything can happen. An errant pitch there. She took the 4-7-8 off the left side. Nice extension there.
Watch out. Ooh.
It's amazing how quick the pin action is when you watch a bowler and you think, well, she really doesn't throw the ball as hard. But it's really not the speed that causes the pins to mix and you get the action.
Well, can you pick up 10? She does, and every pin looks like it's going to be important in this match as things are tightening up.
Well, the format we use for each game, when the bowler starts, they bowl 1 frame, and then they go into a 2-frame situation. I tell you, you can get up and be down 10, 15 pins, make 2 marks, and it has quite an effect not only on your score, but on your opponent. It was like, boy, I sat here, I was 15 pins ahead, now I'm tough break there with the 4 or 5.
Right now, 127 to 110 plus a ball for Mary Beth Smith. Mary Beth leading. Parents looking on. Ooh, slid through the middle and didn't like that. She'll come back and try to pick up at least one more pin here.
Hey, throwing it through the hole on that shot, Mike, you're very close to where you want to be, because you really want to catch the 4 off the left wall. It only has a couple feet to travel to get back on the deck and knock the 5. But the fact is, you can be lucky and touch the 5, which goes to the right-hand wall, and with the pin action you see nowadays in the duck pin game, and especially here at Turner's Longmeadow Bowl, very easy shot, and it's a lot bigger target than if you just try to tip a pin.
Great ball for Jessie Shears. She was counting on that for the mark.
Sort of let an opportunity get away.
Yeah, she could have counted big there. She could close the gap a little bit and put herself in an opportunity to make another one. Let's see what she can do to try to correct that.
Very makeable shot here, Mike, for the lower average bowler.
Watch out! 10 pin just wouldn't go down. A lot of things were going on down there, I'll tell you that much.
I was going to say, it was a case where she only had 7 pins standing. It looked like 8 fell, and she still has 1.
Now she'll have to settle for opportunity at 10 here, and she's off to the right. 136, 122 after 8 frames. 14 pin advantage for Mary Beth Smith, and so Jessie Shears here will look to try to put a mark on the board in the 9th.
All the time we've been doing these matches, Mike, we know how tough it is to win 3 matches. It just doesn't happen too often.
Mary Beth sort of talking to herself there, sitting on the sidelines. Just one more, she's saying. Just one more frame. Just taking one frame at a time, one step at a time.
Clearing the pin, I hope it's staying there. She got it covered.
A little house cleaning down there as a pin got stuck. And now we're ready to resume action in this Coors Light Duckpin Classic. Watch out. Jessie's really letting things get away from her here in the late stages of the match. There's a nice 9. She's never looked comfortable up here at this point.
No, a little intimidated, a little cautious. No, you can tell the nerves.
There's a 10. Beautiful shot as we saw it over the shoulder of Mary Beth Smith, and it went in, and it's a big time to get a strike in the 9th frame.
Big count here, Mike, and she really can close it out, bowling the 10th frame. If she counts a total of 7 or 8 pins with 2 balls, it's going to, Jessie can only shoot 161 with a triple in the 10th, and we're going to have to bring Mary Beth back next week. Looking for win number 4. She'll be bowling Sharon Parker, as you mentioned, from the Maryland area, Fairlane's East Point.
Yep, she got a little help there.
Sharon, now you have a different situation when we come back next week. Sharon Parker, 136 average bowler, and you're going to have a handicap difference of 22 pins.
That's something that Sharon will have to contend with. Probably try to get that out of the way early. Here's Mary Beth still counting, and she's got a spare to add to that strike.
108 average bowler. She sure likes the 9th and 10th frames, Mike.
And she's got a 166 plus this ball here. Had a 184 in the last game with her handicap. I believe she had a 169 in her first match. And it's going to count 9 for Mary Beth Smith. Big finish. 175, 165. What is that? No, 175.
175.
Okay. So Mary Beth, 169, 184, 175 with handicap added in. Jessie Shears going to try to finish up strong in front of the hometown folks.
Mary Beth in her 3 victories here today averaged 127, 19 pins over her actual 108 average. But that's what happens in tournaments, Mike. You get started and she just bowled very steady. Nothing, you're just capable. That type of bowler is very capable of doing that.
See what happens in the break between this week's shows and next week's shows. Whether she can continue. Let's get some higher average bowlers that she'll be facing off against next week, and that is the match. 175-140. Mary Beth Smith wins it. We'll be back to wrap things up here from the Longmeadow Bowl right after this.
It's exciting, it's entertaining, it's challenging, it's fun. It's Duckpin Magic. Duckpin bowling is lots of fun for the whole family. There's no need to be an expert. Duckpin bowling is easy to learn, but it's the challenge that'll keep you coming back. Even little hands can control the ball in duckpin bowling. Join a league or we'll help you start one. And with duckpin bowling, there's more bowling for your buck. Discover duckpin bowling and you'll discover Duckpin Magic at any of these locations.
Hello, we'd like to clear up some misconceptions about duckpin bowling at Fairlanes. This is a duck. This is a duck pin. Note the absence of webbed feet. This is a flock of ducks. This is a flock of duck pins. The object of duck pins is to hurl 3 balls, bang, 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 and knock them all down. Exhilarating. The object of ducks is to be ducks. Now you may proceed to Fairlanes. We're quite sure you'll find duck pinning everything it's quacked up to be. Sorry.
It's exciting, it's entertaining, it's challenging, it's fun. It's Duckpin Magic. Duckpin bowling is lots of fun for the whole family. There's no need to be an expert. Duckpin bowling is easy to learn, but it's the challenge that'll keep you coming back. Even little hands can control the ball in duckpin bowling. Join a league or we'll help you start one. And with duckpin bowling, there's more bowling for your buck. Discover duckpin bowling and you'll discover Duckpin Magic at any of these locations.
Hello, we'd like to clear up some misconceptions about duckpin bowling at Fairlanes. This is a duck. This is a duck pin. Note the absence of webbed feet. This is a flock of ducks. This is a flock of duck pins. The object of duck pins is to hurl 3 balls, bang, 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 and knock them all down. Exhilarating. The object of ducks is to be ducks. Now you may proceed to Fairlanes. We're quite sure you'll find duck pinning everything it's quacked up to be. Sorry.
It's exciting, it's entertaining, it's challenging, it's fun. It's Duckpin Magic. Duckpin bowling is lots of fun for the whole family. There's no need to be an expert. Duckpin bowling is easy to learn, but it's the challenge that'll keep you coming back. Even little hands can control the ball in duckpin bowling. Join a league or we'll help you start one. And with duckpin bowling, there's more bowling for your buck. Discover duckpin bowling and you'll discover Duckpin Magic at any of these locations.
Hello, we'd like to clear up some misconceptions about duckpin bowling at Fairlanes. This is a duck. This is a duck pin. Note the absence of webbed feet. This is a flock of ducks. This is a flock of duck pins. The object of duck pins is to hurl 3 balls, bang, 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 and knock them all down. Exhilarating. The object of ducks is to be ducks. Now you may proceed to Fairlanes. We're quite sure you'll find duck pinning everything it's quacked up to be. Sorry.
Welcome back here to the Longmeadow Bowl in Hagerstown, Maryland. Mary Beth Smith, winner of 3 matches this week, will come back and face off against Sharon Parker next week in the Coors Light Duckpin Classic. We hope you join us in Duckpin Magic. For Joe Rainier, I'm Mike Sella. See you again next week, everybody.